Hey there, Mr. Reddit here. Welcome back to another episode of r/entitled Parent Stories. Our first story we'll be reading today, Karen baptizes my baby without telling me. After that, am I the jerk for not defending my husband when my parents berated him? And after that, Karen takes down my signs so her kid will have no competition in dog walking. Now for every thumbs up this video gets, one Karen does not get to take down anyone's signs. Oh yes, I will! So please smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. Karen baptizes my baby without telling me. Little backstory. I grew up in a very religious home. We went to church, non-denominational, 2 to 3 times per week. I always questioned what I was being taught, and when I was in 6th grade and going to a Christian school, I realized I was agnostic. I live in the Bible Belt, so it's difficult having my beliefs, or lack thereof. Despite my family all being religious, they have all respected my beliefs. Not just mine, but my daughters, ages 8 and 9, Dad, who is an atheist as well. Everyone except my mother. A couple years ago, we told her how she could no longer take the girls to church. We felt they were being indoctrinated, and both were starting to deny science. She argued with us, but realized how serious we were. She knew if she took them to church again, she would be risking being able to see them in their life. Little did I know, she had been having Bible study with the girls on nights they would spend the night with her. Maybe every 3 weeks or so, the girls would stay over there. The girls stayed with her this past Saturday. She brought them home to me Sunday afternoon. My fiance and I were asking them if they had fun, what did they do, etc. My 8-year-old then said, "I got baptized." Excuse me? What? I remained calm because I didn't want her to think she was in trouble or did something wrong. I asked her whose idea it was. She said, "Mine." Okay, so I asked a few more questions and realized she had the idea because she was told that if she were to die, she'd go to heck. She was terrified. So my mom baptized my baby. My daughter said my mom asked the questions and everything before the baptism, like, "Do you accept Jesus into your heart?" I was truly blown away by what she had done. It was such a breach of mine and their dad's trust, and she had crossed a huge line. I sent a group text to my mom and the girl's dad with the following. "I don't know why I'm shocked, but I'm actually blown away by your enormous breach in trust. You crossed a huge line. You know how Ken and I feel about religion. And for poor Emmy to have the belief that she will die and go to heck if she doesn't get baptized? Putting that thought in her head is not right. No other way to look at that. My heart is broken for the girls because I know how difficult and confusing it's going to be for them to not see you anymore. But I absolutely cannot trust you with them anymore." My ex followed up with this. "OP is speaking for both of us on this. I am heartbroken that you have forced us into having to do this." So, am I overreacting? Is this going to be more harmful to my kids who have a relationship with her? Am I the jerk? Well, what do you think? Should OP still allow her kids to see the grandmother or not? Please let us know. Am I the jerk for not defending my husband when my parents berated him? So, what happened has caused a huge conflict, and most of my family members have pretty much cut contact with me. I'm female, 28, and my sister, who's 25, miscarried last week. It was so horrible for her and her husband, as this is the second time that this has happened to them. My sister spent the following days at her home, feeling exhausted and depressed, and I called her to check on her, but she kept the conversation short. My mom was very concerned and decided to invite her and her husband for dinner on Sunday to get her to feel better, and also since the family wanted to see my sister and support her. So mom thought having a family dinner was a good idea. On Thursday, I found out I was pregnant, but I didn't tell anyone, thinking the time wasn't right, so only me and my husband knew about it. We got there. My husband was surprised to see the whole family was there, saying he didn't expect that. I sat with my sister before dinner. She looked like a mess. We cried together, and I absolutely felt sorrow and how she was struggling with her loss. After that, we all started having dinner. While everyone was talking casually, my husband called for everyone's attention, said he wanted to take a minute to announce that I was pregnant and that we had found out this week. I was shocked, speechless. Everyone started congratulating me while my sister got up and literally walked outside. Her husband followed her. My parents were the only ones who didn't move. They just stared at me and my husband disgusted. A few minutes later, her husband came back inside to get her bag and they left. Things got quiet. My aunt, cousin, and her family started leaving. I wanted to leave, but my dad told us to stay because he wanted to talk to my husband. I knew there was going to be a crap show since my husband has a history with him. My father lost it. He yelled at my husband and called what he did insensitive and inappropriate. My husband wanted me to defend him, but I just sat there while my dad was raising his voice for being disrespectful and inconsiderate and a jerk. My husband responded with bringing up past issues, saying they were playing favorites, and told them that because of this, they will never see his kid. He got kicked out by my dad. We got home, and my husband blew up on me for not defending him, but I yelled at him that what he did was very wrong and that my sister will most likely never talk to me again, thinking I was behind this. We argued for a few minutes, and he told me to buzz off and slam the door to go be with his buddies after I told him to fix his anger issues. Info: I told my husband to not tell anyone about my pregnancy, but he thought since the whole family was there that this was a perfect time. He completely disregarded everyone's feelings. I know he's my husband, but they're my family, and they were hurt. My dad was hurt. Well, what do you think? Should OP have stood up for her husband or not? Please let us know. I think leaving him might be a better option. Even I wouldn't do something like he did. Karen takes down my signs so her kid will have no competition in dog walking. I'm a 14-year-old male, and this happened about 2 years ago. Here's some background knowledge. So I wanted to make a little extra money because I was into stocks, and I wanted to make money for my future, invest in stocks, buy a car that would last me past high school, etc. I wanted to start making money by dog walking. I started making posters that showed why I wanted to make money, and I had a dog. He was a medium dog, but I was a relatively strong person and I could handle most sizes of dogs. So I started printing about 30 copies of posters and started putting them on electrical posts every 200 feet or so. It took about an hour considering I didn't bike. I just followed my daily routine for the next few days, waiting to get a call from someone to ask about my dog walking. A few days after I put up the posters, I took my dog on a long walk. So I was walking, and just after about 30 minutes walking from my house, there were no posters. I swear that I put them up. I continued my walk and found less dog posters around this area. After about an hour walk, I got home and I looked at where I had mapped out where I would put the posters. There were supposed to be posters there. I called my friend, who lives near there, and asked him to watch the posters and tell me if there was someone taking them down and when. He said sure. Later that day, he called me back asking where the posters are. Me: oops, I forgot to mention that I would be putting them up early tomorrow before school. This was at about 10 p.m., and my parents wouldn't let me put them up when I was 12, even if I was almost 13. Friend: okay, well, see you then, I guess. Me: see you. Friend: wait, I forgot to say that there was someone, entitled Mom, standing near one of the posts for about 20 minutes. Oh, and I've seen her before. I think she lives near me. Me: okay, well, that's random. Bye. Friend: see ya. The next day, I put up the posters and walked to school with my friend because I was already over there. It's a normal day at school. I tell my friends about it, and my friend exaggerates about the person standing by the post doing nothing. After about 10 minutes after I get home, I get a call from my friend, he lives further from the school, saying the posters have been taken down again. I'm annoyed at this point, so bike over to his house and put one poster right across from his window. We head in and start playing Minecraft. I'm not paying much attention as I'm watching the poster. There's someone, maybe in their mid-40s, approaching the poster. I tell my friend, and we wait until they are in arm reach of the poster. They might just be looking at it. Friend: I think that's the person that was standing at the poster earlier. Me: okay, let's go over to them. We approach the entitled Mom as she turns back and gives us the eye. My friend and I quickly act like we were just taking a walk. Friend: yup, it's the person that was standing at the post earlier. Me: okay, we should approach her. I'll do the talking. As we approach her, she turns again, and this time has the poster in her hand with a firm grip. Me: hello, are you interested in that? Entitled Mom huffs and turns again. She was clearly in a bad mood. I say it again, but a little different. Me: are you interested in that? I put up those posters, and I can walk your dog if you're interested. Entitled Mom: I don't want you to walk a single dog. I don't know what she meant by that. She starts ripping off half the poster with the other half stuck on. Me: what are you doing? Well, since my son is going to start walking his dog soon, he wanted to make some money, so I wanted to be perfect for him. Me: well, there's enough space for both of us. No. Me: well, even so, you can't take down my posters. I'm also trying to make money. Well, that doesn't matter. If your parents can afford to live in this neighborhood, then you are fine, she complains. Then I remember this very distinctively when she said, anyways, You're too fat and tall to walk a dog. You couldn't walk a puppy. Ha! She said the ha like Marge from The Simpsons. I was really annoyed at this point. At the time, I got mad really easily. I ranted. Well, even if my parents can't afford to live here, you don't know anything about me, and you assume that I'm fat. You are a slob and a terrible parent. I bet that you've been spoiled your whole life. I know I contradicted myself multiple times in that sentence, but I was mad. My parents could afford to live in the neighborhood. We live in the Bay Area, which generally costs more than most places, but my family didn't have a nice house. We just lived in a nice neighborhood. As I was not fat, I am really tall, and I have a bit of a large stomach and it sticks out a bit. But I don't have an eating problem. I'm just built this way. Entitled Mom. I'm going to keep ripping your posters off so that my 9-year-old can walk dogs. Friend. Lady, stop. My friend spent a lot of time doing this, and if he wants to make money, he can. You are doing a bad thing. My friend was very logical, but we're 12, so we look like complete idiots. At this point, friend's mom came outside and yelled from across the street, "Stop being a jerk, Entitled Mom, and harassing my son and his friend." His mom was more like me, but an adult. Me. Entitled Mom, please stop. The reason I want to make money is to invest in my future. Shut up. You just want to spend it on food, and we all know that. I was done with her craziness. I went back inside with my friend, and we continued to play Minecraft. I would look back over at the argument in hand. From the looks of it, it seems like friend's mom was just being mean at this point, not even trying to fix the problem. I was fine with that. His mom let me stay for dinner, and turns out she said some pretty funny things to this lady. After dinner, I took my backpack and was going to go home when I realized I brought an extra poster. My friend and I put up the poster and giggled. I didn't care much about this because it was a great story to tell people even if I was mad. This is what I heard about the conversation that the ladies had. Friend's mom said that her parenting skills were the same as an animal who leaves their kid at birth. Entitled Mom just kept ranting about how the whole world is crazy and no one can tell when someone is trying to be nice, and how we were evil to even suggest that I was equal to her son. This lady clearly needs some help, or just someone to snap her back into a realistic state. I feel bad for her that she acts like that on a regular basis, but at the same time, it's not okay whatsoever, and whatever happened to her, she deserved. My friend says he doesn't see her much anymore, just on holidays. I think she probably moved away and has family or friends that they visit during the holidays. I made about $600 before I stopped. I spent about $150 towards stocks, $50 towards money for going downtown with friends, and about $400 went towards a new graphics card for my failing one, but I bought the graphics card about 5 months ago. Ex-employee, choose out a Karen. I work at a large hardware store as an appliance associate. We wear orange aprons, so I'll let you figure out where it is. Now, I don't usually work in flooring, but the regular flooring guy was on break. So after the nice lady asked me to get something down from the overhead for her, I headed over there to help. Seeing Karen and Adam standing at the carpet cutting machine, not together, I tell them I'll come help them as soon as I was done with the nice lady. After about 2 minutes, I returned to the carpet cutting machine to find Karen gone, leaving me to talk Adam through what would be best for him to get for his project. Just as I'm getting ready to roll out the carpet we decided on, Karen comes back stomping. Karen, there you are. Adam, it's all right, man. Take care of her first. I'm not in any rush. Me, how can I help you, ma'am? I need 60 feet of AstroTurf. How hard is that? I start rolling out her carpet. You should have just done that to begin with. Are you stupid or something? All of you people are lazy, good-for-nothing jerks. Adam, ma'am, there's no reason to talk to him like that. He's just doing his job. Karen, not fast enough. Not that it's any of your business. You need to stay out of our conversation. Adam, obviously done with her BS. Look, he's just trying to do his job, and you're acting like a jerk. A verbal smackdown ensues until my manager, we'll call her Debbie, walks over to intervene. Manager, is there a problem? Karen, I was just having a conversation with this lady, points to me, and he started being rude. You need to handle it. Manager, ma'am, he doesn't work here. I don't know what you want me to tell him. My manager proceeds to try and talk the woman down while I roll and cut her carpet. By the time I had her carpet ready, her husband had arrived with a cart to load it up. Then, thinking everything was over, my manager walks away and I turn to Adam to get his carpet. That's when I realized that Karen had been telling her husband what happened. Husband storming out to Adam. Did you call my wife a jerk? Adam shrugging. I said she was acting like a jerk. There's no reason to talk to associates the way she did. Husband, you need to learn some respect. You can't talk to customers like that. Adam, I am a customer, which means I can say the things everyone else is thinking but can't say. Then the husband tried to fight Adam before the manager came back and escorted the couple to the front. Come to find out, Adam used to work there and loved the opportunity to tell customers everything he had never been able to when he worked there. I've never been so satisfied. We don't give trophies here, lady. I taught martial arts several years ago, and I've seen my fair share of entitled parents. However, this lady and her kids are forever burned into my brain. I taught at a regular studio, but on the side to market the studio, I would run a 6-week after-school parks and rec program. In my program, I taught forms. There would be a couple days of sparring and board-breaking basics. I think some parents and kids come in thinking they're going to be these MMA cage fighters, but I digress. Looking back, I think the most entitled parents were ones that put their kids in that program. I was starting a new session, and this lady, entitled mom, brought her 2 sons, who were around 6 and 12 years old, to the class. I greet them. Hey, I'm SoCal Courtney. Welcome to Parks and Rec class. What are your names? Entitled mom. Where is the instructor? Me. I am. I teach over at X Martial Arts Studio on Y Street. I was expecting a man. We really want a man to teach our sons. Which she turns to her kids and tells them that I fight like a girl. While this was very annoying, I thought maybe the kids would be okay, or maybe she was just brash. I was wrong. The 12-year-old on day 1 wanted to spar me. I told him that isn't what we're going to do, and that we would spar later in the class session once everyone learns the basics. I invited entitled mom to stay to watch the classes so I could ensure her that I was capable and a very qualified instructor, thinking this would put her mind at ease. For the next 6 weeks, I had to deal with the fighting like a girl, or where is a male instructor comments. I ensured that while we do have male instructors, I'm the only one that runs this program, and at our studio, there's a teaching rotation, so everyone gets an opportunity to teach. However, I am the one that oversees the other instructors. Oddly enough, these folks signed up at our studio. On the first day, entitled mom, her 2 sons, and an older sister walk in. I greet them just like I would any student and ask for information to set up accounts. I'm getting things squared away, and the sister, who was maybe my age, I was in my early 20s, made the comment that I've heard time and time again. Sister, I bet you hit like a girl. At this time, I was very much over the comments. I get it the first couple of times, but it gets old quickly, so I said back to her, me, I have a waiver that you can sign if you'd like, and we can spar. She declined and laughed it off, saying she was joking. Fine. Entitled mom goes on and on about male instructors, how her husband only wants her kids to be taught by men. Her youngest son was the sweetest, kindest kid. I really enjoyed teaching him, and I think that he would have gone far if they would have stayed with the studio. However, the 12-year-old was an entitled kid and had this chip on his shoulder, thinking that he was owed the world. I tried to empathize. I've seen kids from all backgrounds and walks of life, but this kid made it difficult. Over the next several weeks, I would only pair entitled kid, 12, with male opponents because I noticed that when he would fight with the girls, he would be much more aggressive. He started to get more and more warnings, and it was just a bad time. Entitled mom advises that if I were a male instructor, this wouldn't be happening. I told her that this wasn't the case. To be honest, I just wanted to say that I think there was a lot of discipline issues at home. Finally, tournament time rolls around. Entitled mom approaches me and asks about trophies. At our tournaments, we just have gold, silver, and bronze medals. That's it. She started to demand that we start giving trophies. I told her that while some studios and larger tournaments do have trophies, we just don't provide them at this time. Entitled mom demands that we present her kids with trophies that she planned on buying for them. I told her that I'm absolutely not going to do that. She told me I was crushing her kids' hearts. Eventually, I just tell her, ma'am, for the last time, I'm not presenting your kids with a trophy. It isn't fair to the others who have worked just as hard. If you want to give them trophies on your own time, outside of this tournament, you can do that. Entitled mom and co roll up to the tournament. Entitled kid, 12, loses. She brought those trophies with her, left us with a bad Yelp review, and dipped from the studio. We never saw them again. Don't know what happened to them. I hope they found a sole male instructor, and I hope that the youngest son kept up with it, and I hope that he hasn't adapted the same attitude that his parents and older brother have. I don't teach anymore, but I hope that my kids get into it. Lots of good memories. But man, some parents, am I right? Speaking of martial arts, have you ever done any martial arts? And if so, what kind? Please let us know. I'm a 3rd-degree black belt in Karen Fu. But I need to use your computer. A Tale of My Mother. For cathartic purposes and your amusement, I should like to tell you a story some 20 years old about the mine of neurosis that was, and likely still is, my mother. She was a special kind of woman, as you shall see. One of the ways she manifested her deep resentment of her choices to marry and have children young was her absolute conviction that she owned her kids and all that they owned. Particularly impressively, she owned her kids and all that they owned after she kicked the elder of the two out of her home permanently when the elder reached the mature and self-sufficient age of 14 years old. The kicking out is relevant, the age is not. The elder moved in with his father's mother, a sweet old woman just unknowingly beginning the symptoms of Parkinson's disease and needing more help and company than expected. That was nice. The family took her there to live with her grandmother, and her uncle gave her old computer parts from his side business of upgrading small business machines. The hard drive was already wiped, and let her build her first computer for schoolwork, read video games, perhaps being 14 is relevant after all, and bought her internet access as well. It was nice. While this was happening, the mother in question had discovered eBay, the wonderful world of eBay, where she could buy anything she wanted and experience excitement for once in her monotonous life. It worked well with her immense store card debt and huge quantities of free time. She became hooked. She replaced her whole wardrobe of clothes and progressed to filling her very poorly kept and dirty home with new things. One day, the worst happened. The internet went down. Oh no, the horror. With no internet, how would she buy whatever it was that was finishing today? Terrible, no. But wait, there was an answer for this problem. The teenage daughter she had kicked out of her home a mere 3 weeks ago had an internet connection and a computer. Yes, that would solve the problem. And so she called up her daughter and told her, "I'm coming over to use your computer." It was this day that her daughter realized something. That something was, she was sick of this woman's crap. "No," she said. It was actually terrifying because she hadn't said no so abruptly to her mother since she was a toddler. The lady was terrifying when she was angry, quite possibly because of the missing and horribly discolored teeth and terrible breath when she got in one's face, but the unhinged rage helped too. "I have an auction finishing," said mother. "No," said the daughter again, "'cause we are doing this. This is a thing now." "I am coming over to use your computer," mother said firmly. "I won't open the door," said her daughter. "You will. I am leaving now," the mother growled menacingly. This was before any of the family had mobile phones. They were around, but terribly expensive, and so both only had the landline. She hung up. And so the daughter locked the door. A door in a frame reinforced with steel sometime earlier after grandmother was robbed by a charity who look after the elderly. This is relevant. She also got a weapon and went to sit on the stairs opposite the door. Their homes were a 20-minute walk from each other. The weapon in question was a reenactment Norse sword, because what kind of child with a mother like this grows up normal? So she sat at the door and she waited, and her mother arrived and rang the bell. No one answered. She knocked. No one answered. Then she began to scream to be let in. No answer. And then, screaming about missed auctions, she began to beat on the door. She kicked it. Finally a response. "I'm not opening the door." She got angrier and screamed louder and kicked harder. "I will call the police," her daughter told her, and thus the dragon was defeated. She was momentarily enraged, but it dawned on her, apparently, that this might actually happen, and so she angrily stormed home to call her husband and relate the story of how their selfish kid lost her an eBay auction by refusing to let her use her computer, and even threatened to call the police on her. Her husband was deeply angry at their daughter. Because how dare she say no to her mother who birthed her? Her grandmother, by contrast, was relieved that this woman had finally been told no and was kept out of her house. Their daughter remained unimpressed with her mother, and this was the story of the last time my mother ever failed to believe me when I said no. To this day, I've never been able to use that sword outside of setup fights. We haven't spoken in 10 years, except for one slip-up when she got a new Facebook account that wasn't blocked. Clarence Karen, a special breed. In college, I was working at a bookstore. The company was Christian-owned, and they made a pretty big deal about it, and all their merch was geared towards that clientele. So one fall, they were having a huge sale. A lot had been moved to clearance in our store, and several bonus coupons were in that month's mail-out. This woman, entitled woman, came in with her husband. They had filled, I kid you not, 12 handheld baskets with junk, and I mean junk. A lot of it was clearanced because it was damaged or broken in some minor way. I patiently rang them all up, secretly excited how the sale would look on my numbers for the week. I made small talk about the weather and her items. "Oh, this candle smells nice," like usual, and I thought all was going great. At the end of the purchase, I asked if she had any coupons. She handed me a 20% off her entire purchase and I scanned it. It brought the total down from over $500 to about $450 because it only applied to the non-clearance items, as explained in bold letters below the big 20% text. Entitled Lady: "That coupon is for 20% off. You didn't take 20% off." Me: "The coupon can only take 20% off the regularly priced items, ma'am." I hurried to scroll back through the running list on my screen. It looks like it took 20% off all of the non-clearance items. Entitled Lady huffs and digs in her bag, producing the sale ad and handing me several more coupons. One was able to take an additional 10% off a book. It was book specific, and another took a few dollars off, but her total was still well over $400. Another coupon was a buy one get one free. Buy 2 clearance items under $5, get the third free. I looked back over her purchase and saw she had about 30 $5 or less candles and other smaller items like bookmarks, highlighters, etc. Me: "I can scan this coupon, but it'll only save you about $5. If you'd like, I can take off most of the items that are under $5. "But I want to buy them all." Me: "I understand that. Let me explain. I know how coupons work. You don't need to get snotty with me." I sighed and scanned the coupon. "Why did that only take off $5? I bought more than 3 items, young lady." I plastered on my teacher face and smiled. Me: "As I was trying to explain, it's only good for a total of 3 items per transaction. If you'd like, I can remove the other items from this transaction and then scan the rest up separately. That way you're still getting the same amount for free." I should probably mention that doing so was way against company policy, but as my assistant manager was always saying, we don't get paid enough to care when people are mad over $5. Just make it work. Entitled Lady: "So why won't it work on this transaction? Scan it again. You must not have done it right." Me: "I can scan it again, but I can see that it won't work no matter how many times I scan it. The coupons that work and the items they apply to turn green. And if it doesn't work, a big error message comes up and it'll say in red that it doesn't apply with a brief explanation of why. The system is saying it won't work because it has already been applied to qualifying items." Lose the attitude. I don't deserve this. I'm spending hundreds of dollars in here. Fix it. At this point, I wanted to throw my computer screen at her, but I know manager definitely gets paid enough to care about that. Instead, I plastered on another smile. Me: "I'll scan the coupon again, and if you'd like to step to the side here, I'll show you my screen so you can see that it doesn't work that way no matter how many times I scan it." I'm not going to do your job for you. Make it work. I scanned the coupon again, and surprise, it didn't work. Me: "As I've said, it's not going to work this way. Again, I'm more than happy to remove the items from your purchase and ring them out as separate transactions, but I can't make the computer accept the coupon." Well, that's not what I want. I want to buy these items, so I wouldn't have picked them out, would I? Now I'm just done. Me: "I found that's why customers generally select items. Yes." She blinks at me, and I'm now smiling with true joy. I've managed to silence her for a moment. Me: "If you'd like, I can go get my manager and see if he knows anything I don't." I know he doesn't, but I figure I can offer anyway and pass the buck to him. Entitled Lady: "You should have offered that sooner. Go." As I'm walking to the other side of the checkout kiosk, I hear her say to husband, "Hopefully manager is more competent than this jerk." I go up to the manager and he leans in and I start to explain, but he tells me he's been listening to the whole thing and I'm right. Don't worry. We were pretty close friends outside of work and he knew I didn't mind confrontation at all, but he was in law school, so I knew Entitled Lady had it coming in some way. I handed manager the coupon and hung back while I labeled new merch. Manager tells the Entitled Lady, "What seems to be the problem, ma'am?" Entitled Lady is now in full-on Karen mode. "That cashier is inept, and because of her, I won't be buying anything. She should be fired. I expect better service from a Christian store." Manager: "I'm sorry to hear you aren't satisfied with our procedures. May I?" Entitled Lady cuts him off and Rage explains what's happened, surprisingly accurately, and manager nods along sympathetically. Entitled Lady: "And your employee said you might be able to get the coupon to work, so I expect you to. I did the math, and this shouldn't be more than $200, so I won't be paying more than that. I trust that you can see to it that I get what I want. That's your job." Manager: "I will certainly do everything I can." Manager scans the coupon, and once again, it's rejected. Let me call her over here. He waves me over and asks, which way were you scanning the coupon? Instinctively, I swiped my hand in front of the scanner like I was holding a coupon, left to right. Manager, well, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Now I can tell he's messing with her. Let me try it this way. He scans it right to left. Nope, still won't work. Let me see. Meanwhile, entitled lady has this smug grin like I'm about to be taught a lesson. Manager inputs the code manually and turns the screen all the way around, showing her the error. Manager, if you'll see here, this coupon has already been applied to as much merchandise as corporate allows. So, entitled lady then turns and storms out of the store. This store is pathetic. I won't ever be back. If a customer wants to use a coupon, you should let them. Husband follows her to the car, agreeing with her. When the door closes, manager turns to me and we're both nervous relief laughing, grateful the store is otherwise empty. Manager sent me to lunch, saying we'd reshelf her stuff in a bit. Halfway through my break, he comes in the back room. Manager, guess who just came back? Apparently, entitled lady sent husband in to buy everything full price, no coupon for anything. I worked at this store for another year, and she did the same thing about 6 months later. I saw her coming toward my register at the same time manager did, caught his eye, and went, nope, yours, and ducked under the counter to run to the back of the store. Manager wasn't happy with me, but after we both had left that day, he said, I couldn't say this on the clock, but I was only mad about earlier because you ran before I could. Best manager ever. Please come watch this video next. You will love it. And join as a channel member today, and we'll give you a special shout out in our next video. And to have us make any kind of video you'd like us to, just come visit us on Fiverr. Link pinned in the comments below.